Comeuppance Network. This is how to watch TV.
Game of Thrones with Joel and Jeremy. My name's Joel.
I'm Jeremy. You can. We are brought to you by Comeuppance Network. You can check out all of our social media sites at thishishowtowatchtv.com and email us at thishishowtowatchtv@gmail.com.
Not laughing at you. You managed to pull that one out.
I did.
You lost it for a second.
For a second. I got it back.
Yeah, check out any of the other shows on Comeuppance Network, blah, blah, blah. Subscribe. I think that's the most important one. Subscribe on YouTube. Leave comments. Share the videos. Tell other people about the stuff. Blah,
Interact
blah.
with him.
Blah, blah, blah. Do things that tell us you're watching. We are here to discuss Season 7, Episode 3, The Queen's Justice.
Only 4 episodes left.
Right.
Or was there 6 this year? 7.
No, there's 7 this
Only
season.
4 episodes left.
Yeah.
So the Queen's Justice.
Right.
So we start off on the beach of
Okay,
Dragonstone.
yeah, I like the contrast in the round sword and the straight sword framing the shot. Did you notice that? Like when they showed Jon Snow walking up from the beach, like one of the first shots of the episode was the hooked sword like that.
Oh, okay.
And the straight sword in the same shot. It was
that's
showing
cool.
the two armies were side by side now.
So you think they are side by side now?
Well, they are, aren't they?
I mean, not necessarily.
You think the Dothraki are going to break off from the Unsullied?
Oh, I thought you were talking about...
No, like literally in the foreground of the
I
shot.
thought you meant one of the swords from Winterfell.
No, Jon Snow was walking up in the distance, like up on the beach, and framing the shot was one of these swords and a straight sword. Or it might have been a knife or something, you know what I mean? But it was,
Okay, yeah, I didn't pay attention to that, but it was an unsullied weapon?
yeah,
Oh, okay,
whatever that
gotcha.
was. It was like framing the shot, and then Jon Snow's walking up in between it. It was like,
That's cool.
oh, that's fucking cool. They're like,
okay.
they're all one team now.
I love the greeting here at the beginning. It was great.
What's that?
Bastard of Winterfell,
Right.
dwarf of Casterly Rock, and then they
Uh-huh.
kind of smile at each other and shake hands. It was awesome. Like,
Right.
because they did leave. I actually went back and started watching it again, like a fucking nerd.
It's where they left off.
It's awesome, like to see that they're bringing that stuff up like right now.
Yeah.
To go back at, I've noticed like 3 or 4 things like, oh, they just mentioned that, like
Yeah.
in the latest episode, they just brought that up. Like it's cool, man. I love going back and watching it again,
Yeah.
always. And yeah, or they shook hands and he was pissing off the top of the wall. He said, "Yeah, you're pissing off the top of the wall," as last I can remember.
Yeah.
Good little conversation at the beginning there.
Yeah, and then they walk on the bridge, and he's talking about. Now I saw in real life obviously the bridge thing exists, but the Dragonstone.
The castle
The
doesn't.
castle's not there. Yeah, there's not.
Right.
It's like a little tiny house up there.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's so small.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
So it's just like all that staircase is just leading up to that little tiny house.
Yeah.
Does somebody live there?
I don't know. Honestly,
Like why
I'm
would
not
somebody
sure.
live there?
Yeah.
How would you ever get supplies?
Right.
Like I've got to go down and get the mail. Fuck.
Or
See you in
having
3
to-
days.
Or having to deliver the mail.
Yeah.
Like you gotta bring. No, you gotta bring it up top, like mailbox full.
Right? No.
please
Yeah.
carry out.
UPS. UPS says to the door.
Yeah, all the way to the
Are you
door.
fucking serious, buddy? Well, open the goddamn gate.
Nope. Gotta get over the gate. It's impregnable. So John says he's not a Stark, and then a dragon flies over his head.
Yeah, like right at that very
I mean,
moment.
they're shoving some of these right there. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not meaning it in a bad way when I say
No, I
this.
know that.
They're hammering some of these home, and I'm loving it because it's like, oh, finally some of these theories are being confirmed.
What about Tyrion bringing up the House Sansa thing? And like uncomfortably, like he was like, "She misses me terribly," and he looks back at John. John's like, "Yeah, I'll fuck you up." And he's like, "Yeah, no, yeah, we didn't do anything.
Yeah, he's like, no, we didn't do anything.
Unconsummated."
I like the way he answered yes and no.
And no, right,
Yeah.
yeah. Whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I'm unsure of the nomenclature.
Right.
That line made me laugh out loud.
Yeah, that was pretty good. We see Melisandre, and she says she brought ice and fire together,
Good line.
and
but
that she has to die in this strange country just like you. I feel
What do
like
you think
that
that means?
means something important. I don't know why. It feels like there's maybe she has to fulfill a prophecy. Maybe she's part of the Azor Ahai prophecy or something. And she knows that she must be here for it to be completed. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. But just for whatever reason, she has to die in
But she also said that
Westeros.
her time of whispering in the ears of kings is over.
And he
with.
said, I doubt that.
But he said king. She said kings. She didn't say kings and queens.
Right.
Because that's all we have now is queens. But,
Yeah.
I just want to get something out of the way.
Go ahead.
Because I just remember Varys' costume in that scene with the fur. He's still wearing like the same like kind of robe thing, but it's like lined with fur to be
Okay.
warmer. Shout out to the costumes this season.
Okay.
Like, especially this episode. Like, for some reason, I noticed like every costume was like, wow, that costume's awesome. Sansa's costume was awesome. I mean, everybody's in this fucking episode. Euron's costume as he's marching her through the streets. The horse, the armor of the horse was wearing with the octopus like metal like
Yeah.
lacing and stuff on it. It's fucking awesome. I mean, like, they're killing it, dude. Like the sets and the makeup, hair, costumes.
You're rewatching season 1. Is there a
You know what?
noticeable difference?
No. Which is cool.
Yeah, I mean,
I
because I was
guess
thinking
maybe a
they
little,
were
there's a
getting
little
better.
less detail and a little less lacing and a little less like stuff. Like, they've gotten better at what they do,
Right.
definitely. But it still stacks up. You can still watch season 1 and it still
Okay.
holds up. But I guess if you paid a lot of attention, you could tell that maybe they didn't have as much money as they do now
Right.
to do what they're doing.
I mean, they got 30 million views on the last episode.
Just on what? Like on HBO,
Yeah.
like Go and Now
Yeah.
and stuff? That doesn't count.
Well, whatever. Just all over 30 million people watched the last episode of Game of Thrones.
That's fucking
That's
awesome,
retarded. I mean, that's
That's
great
ridiculous.
because then
That's like sports level type shit.
That's
That's
great
like
because
NFL rating.
everybody's finally just buying in and like they're watching it. I don't know.
Well, they're
it's-
talking about it everywhere too. Like I listen to sports radio. I've probably mentioned this several times on the show, but I listen to sports radio all day long. And you know what? They're usually pretty strict about sticking to what
Right,
they
it
know.
must be sports.
They don't talk politics. They don't talk. They'll mention movies and stuff like that, but they don't get into it too big. But dude, like, they've been setting aside time for Game of Thrones. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, and they actually, with like not knowing how to not be spoilery, they've not been spoilery.
Yeah.
Which is appreciated by the audience who hasn't seen it. But like
I bet that's tough.
It's crazy that it's got to be tough. But it's funny because the one guy's like, yeah, not watching it. Like he's one of those guys.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You got it, but somebody had to be that on there
Yeah.
for it to work. It
For
can't
them to
be
talk
everybody
about it. The one
blowing
guy
it.
loves it. He's talking about how great it is. The other guy's like, yep, don't care.
Yeah.
Can we move on now?
Yeah.
You done yet? Like, that's the kind of shit he does. But
Right.
I don't know. Just like I said, I went off a little rant, total off subject, but I just wanted to mention, and I know they're not watching this, but shout out to fucking all of those people who work
Right.
so fucking hard on the back end of that show that nobody ever sees, and it turns out on camera fucking sick.
Right.
All the costumes were fucking awesome.
Yeah.
The fucking gems, with Missandei's costume with the fucking dragon emblem on her shoulder and shit, just fucking badass. Man.
Yeah.
The whole thing is badass. All
All
right, moving on.
The difference in their names in their introduction, Jon Snow
Love it.
and Daenerys.
There was a lot of comedic relief in this somewhat tense episode.
Right.
Because this conversation got pretty uncomfortable
Yeah, he's
pretty
Jon
quickly.
Snow.
Yeah, he's Jon Snow. Oh, and yeah, he's King of the North.
Yeah. Also. Were the centuries of Targaryen on the throne and Stark Warden of the North peaceful? Why did she say it like that? Was she rewriting history there?
Revisionist history.
Yeah.
You know, man, I don't know. Like, you'd have to go back and look. Like, there was a time of peace
Well, Bran
after
knows.
Aegon Targaryen and his 3 dragons took over the 7 kingdoms. A lot of the kingdoms did bow the knee or bend the knee, and even the Starks bent the knee and became the Warden in the North. And yes, I guess they did have.
Thousands of years of peace?
I mean, yeah, because that was thousands of years ago when the dragons came. And the first dragons, the 3 dragons that Aegon Targaryen brought over came.
Right.
So
Is it possible
my thing is she was wrong about the king in the North.
Yeah.
She's like, the last king in the North was so and so. No, last king in the North was Robb Stark.
Right.
I guess she wouldn't know that.
Yeah,
Now that
she
I'm thinking
wouldn't
about
know.
it, she wouldn't have known that. So,
She meant the last legitimate
like
king of
way
the North.
back in the day,
like when they were recognized with that
Yes,
title.
yeah,
Before they became Warden of the North.
right.
Yeah.
Which is a cooler title
What?
and less responsibility. You think you don't
I
have
guess,
the whole
yeah.
7 kingdoms. You're just responsible for the North. Like, I'd want that title rather than the king of the 7 kingdoms. I don't want to send the Iron
You
Throne.
notice how many sevens come up in this show?
No, I haven't. Like, let's point that out. Like
the 7 kingdoms-
7 gods.
right? God, there was other there were
Seven
seven
Pointed
Starks.
Star.
There were 7 Starks to start.
The show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Damn it! I can't.
You're counting ladies. Yeah, of course you are.
Yeah.
Catelyn Stark. It's cool to see her on camera again. I mean, like seriously, like to watch. I don't know.
Oh, rewatching. Yeah.
Rewatching the episode. I'm sorry. I'll try not to talk about
Right.
that a lot.
So, Daenerys talks about not believing in myths or legends, yet she's a princess that is promised. Like, that's kind of funny. That she was kind of dismissing legends and myths. But, I mean, I know she comes around to it, but at this point she hadn't. And it's like, what the fuck? You have dragons. Like, and I just thought of this, and this is really dumb.
You said she does come to it by the end of the episode. She does kind of
Right.
come to that conclusion. She's like, there is 3 dragons when they said to her, "Be gone." So might be it's time to examine what we know.
Right, exactly.
She
Let's
said.
not rule it out.
Right.
But have we considered the option that the White Walkers were put in place to eliminate the dragons, and now that the dragons are back, the White Walkers are coming for them? Like, and
Never
we're
thought
just,
about it
and
like
we're just
that. But that could be thought of either way.
A song of
and
ice
then the
and
people,
fire.
the regular people, the regular people are just caught in the middle. All the people squabbling over the 7 kingdoms are just
Right.
caught in the middle of this bigger war, which has kind of been the underlying story the whole time.
I don't know. I just thought that,
But-
but I don't think anybody's really mentioned what if the dragons are fighting what if the White Walkers are coming after the dragons? They weren't
See, but the
active,
dragons
really.
don't want to wipe the rest of people off the planet. The White Walkers seem to want to do that. Like, they don't want anything to exist. Just
Okay,
that.
fair enough. Yeah, I mean,
The dragons
that's
don't
possible.
seem to want to do that. The dragons seem to, like, they can be trained and
Yeah.
actually be docile for their owner.
At least,
some point,
yeah.
You know?
Uh,
So,
Davos's speech was excellent.
oh, the whole skeleton on the Iron Throne
Yeah.
thing? Best line of the fucking season so far. I keep saying
Yeah.
it. Best line of the season so far. Doesn't matter who skeleton sits on the Iron Throne.
Right.
Great stuff. Great stuff.
Theon wasn't killed by his people. Why? Why didn't they kill him? Like, is he really still royalty to them? Do they have any allegiance to Theon at this point?
You think they would just whack him like that?
Well, I mean, let him drown. Like they were basically calling him a traitor by saying that he didn't die going after his sister. Like, they're like, you wouldn't be here. You'd be dead, basically, if you had tried and failed. Like, the only way you fail is if you die, is what I think what they were implying.
Well,
so
yeah.
it seems like they would have just not even bothered to save him, or, I don't know. It seems awfully loyal for a bunch of,
People who don't seem
Ironborn
loyal.
who don't seem very, whatever it is. Iron,
The Ironborn.
is it Ironborn? Okay.
The Iron Fleet. The Ironborn.
After that, we go to Euron Shame Parade.
Yeah.
It wasn't nearly as nasty as Cersei's.
Oh, no.
Without the nudity and you didn't have to do all that. There's a lot
It
more
wasn't
people.
the same thing. It wasn't like the religious, practice that
Right.
was. Yeah. Like, that shit's gone, dude. Seriously, wipe that shit.
Okay,
the
but
fuck
think
out.
about this.
There is no more.
Think about how much more fucked up that is than what Euron is doing.
Oh yeah.
That the church was that much more I'm not trying to preach about it. I'm
I
simply
know, man,
stating.
but, like-
think about how much more fucked up that is. That how much more they did to somebody versus what he is doing. Somebody who seems to be off the hinges and can do whatever he wants, and does whatever he wants.
I love how it's just gone. Like that. Like with one foul swoop, they wipe that part of the story clean.
What's that?
The whole religion is taking over King's Landing thing.
Right.
Cersei's. The
accident?
The accident. Yeah. That it's gone. Like they're just
Right.
like that. There's no more. They're not here. She's queen now, and that's it. And,
So-
like, I don't know.
so
you
we-
wouldn't even think about it till like right now. Wasn't even think about it till we just started talking about
Right.
it. The High Sparrow and all that shit. Gone.
We go to her in the throne room, and there are more people in it this time. Is it just me, or does it not feel as important as it felt in season 1?
Throne.
The throne room, the whole thing.
The whole thing. Well, of course it doesn't. It doesn't feel that important anymore because we know of the bigger problem.
Oh, you think that's why it doesn't feel important?
We know it's not that important. We know as an audience.
But it
that it's
felt-
not that
it
important. But
felt
I've been saying that all the
important.
time. Everybody keeps saying, "Oh, so and so is going to be king, or so and so is going to be sitting on the Iron Throne."
Yeah, but
at the
you
end,
don't
but
think
does it
they're
really
inevitably
fucking
going
matter
to defeat the White Walkers? You don't
No.
think that that's inevitable?
that they're going to defeat the White Walkers?
Yeah. I don't think White Walkers are going to wipe
I
out
mean,
humanity.
Another one of my favorite lines in this episode was when Sansa was talking to Littlefinger, and he said something around the same thing, like, "If the White Walkers win, or if the army of the dead wins, all of our troubles are over, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But if life wins out, then what?
Right.
Like, you have to be thinking of this at all times."
Yeah.
Like, I loved what he was saying to Sansa. It made my hair stand up when we were watching the episode. It was fucking awesome. I can't, quote it exactly, but the way he was like,
I think I wrote
you
it
need
down.
to be like, all battles exist at all times in your mind. You know what I'm saying? Your friends are your enemies are your friends. Like, just, you have to think like this all the time, and that's how you'll survive. Like,
Yeah.
that's fucking awesome. It was an awesome line. One of his best.
In the throne room, I mean, fucking Euron just fucking with Jaime. I give you what looks at Jaime no other man could give, and
Right.
drops them down. Was the chain that heavy, or
The way it throws them down on the
yeah, they're
stairs
just
like
like,
that.
ugh.
Yeah, I don't know.
So he's just that badass. He's just holding it like it's nothing, then throws it down and pulls two full-grown people down.
I don't know.
It doesn't feel right that Jaime's leading the army. Like, they all seem like kids compared to Tywin.
That's what they are.
Yeah.
Compared to him. Compared to what he was.
I don't know
But
why
he
I'm
was
just
murdered
noticing that now.
By one of his angry children.
Right.
So, I mean, look what he produced. Like, he produced bickering fucking children, which is what they are, who are running shit.
Well, I'm
Come on, man. How
leaning
about
I'm
the
leaning
finger in
even
the
more
bum leg?
towards he didn't get killed by one of his children.
Okay. Well, that's another discussion, all that.
It's coming up.
Okay. But how about the finger in the bum line? Hilarious.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And
just
Jaime's
like,
face, was you could see him almost fucking shaking with anger.
Yeah.
Ah, we'll talk later.
Yeah.
I fucking love that shit. That shit was hilarious.
yeah,
dude.
just blatantly
Great
fucking with
stuff.
him. Why did Ilaria kill Marcella again? What did the Lannisters do to him?
It was.
I
bet it had to do
forgot.
with Oberyn getting his face smashed.
Oh, it was after that.
because he fought for Tyrion Lannister. He got caught up in the Lannisters' bullshit and got killed, basically.
Okay.
And they killed his sister. You know,
Right. No, I remember that.
Elia
'cause of the-
Martell. Like,
yeah.
she just hates the Lannisters.
Okay.
You know, that much that she decided to kill her as they got on the boat. You know,
Right.
and damn if she don't get paid back.
Cersei thought long and hard before deciding how to kill Ilaria and daughter, and it really is a beautiful, wicked death. Like
So,
the way that it is.
I was sitting there, like, honestly, in the middle of watching the first time. I was sitting
Uh-huh.
there, kind of with my hand over my mouth, a little nervous about what to, like, I
What
don't
it
know
was
if I want
gonna be.
anybody to get their face pushed in again. Like, once is enough. Like, I don't know, like, it was an awesome scene. Like, I don't know if I want to watch him do that to both of these women. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of
Oh,
what I'm
the
thinking
mountain?
as we're watching it, and he's standing there. I'm like, man, what is she going to do? And I was getting a little like,
Yeah.
oh, fuck, what's about to happen? But the most brutal thing of all was, like, just a kiss. This shit was fucking ridiculous, dude. To have to watch your daughter die and
Right.
rot away, and they're going to
Uh-huh.
keep you alive. And then it took me a minute to catch what she said to her, like, as she walked out. Cersei said something,
Uh-huh.
which sounded like change the tortures every few
No,
hours.
change the torches so she
every
doesn't
few
miss
hours
anything.
So she doesn't miss anything.
Yeah.
It took me like 3 times watching the episode to catch. I was like, oh, torches.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because you could just let them burn out
Right.
her sit in the dark, but no,
Right.
keep that shit on.
Brutal.
Cersei and Jaime get to finally tell people about them, so to speak. He was just like
Just
"Oh,
not
fuck
hiding
it."
it anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
But somebody got to confirm it finally. Like the girl that came to the door, she gets to be like, I totally actually saw it. No, it really happened, for real. Like, I know we've all been talking about it's probably happening, and they definitely had
But did
kids,
you
but I saw them in bed together. Totally.
did you see how like turned on Cersei was like right after doing that horrible shit to somebody?
You think
that
it
shit's
was?
just
You
like-
think it was directly related? I thought it was more to get to for like a last time with Jaime.
Last time.
Yeah, she sent him off, and
Well,
she's
yeah.
gonna hook up with Euron eventually.
Okay,
here,
I don't.
think.
I that could have been part of it, but I think part of her was just fucking
horny from
fucking
killing.
finally getting revenge for one of the deaths.
Okay. Do you think she was trying to breed with him?
Jamie?
Yeah. Could she have been trying to get pregnant?
Why not?
to replace
their
the
dynasty?
kids.
Yeah. Who said she couldn't again, right?
I don't remember hearing that.
Me either.
The Iron Bank meets with Cersei.
How fucking Weasley is that fucking guy?
Yeah, I mean,
With his fucking stupid collar thing.
his stupid collar.
Like the fucking jester collar. The fucking Shakespeare collar.
I mean,
Fucking-
she just out-talked him, that's
oh,
all.
God. She Tywin Lannister to ass. She
Yeah.
pulled out her dad's, you know.
I mean, she's not him by
No,
any stretch
but they
of the
all have little
imagination.
parts of him.
Right, they do.
Jamie does, and so does she, and so
Mhm.
does Tyrion. If anybody's the most like him and is as smart as he is,
Well,
it's fucking
Tyrion took the best parts from him. I think I'm hoping in the same way that Sansa does with Cersei, that she takes the better lessons from Cersei and not all the bad parts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Sansa looks.
I know what she
like
looks
she's
like,
like-
but I'm more. I feel I'm hoping that they're just teasing us with that, and she hasn't let on how smart she is, and she's going to get
There was
rid
a,
of Littlefinger.
There was a
and-
line in there. Where he
Hold
said
on,
that.
wait. He's about to brood. We got to go to the brooding first.
But he said when they were walking up the stairs, he said something. She's smarter than she lets on, and John said she's beginning to let on.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
letting on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right. Earlier
Yeah.
on in the Dragonstone
Yeah.
walk up.
Right.
Yeah, they absolutely.
The brooding stuff was great. Yes.
I came down here to brood, and you're better at brooding than I am. So
But the way he said
Yeah,
it, he
he's
was
so
like,
much better
"You're
than
making
that."
me think I'm failing at brooding
Yeah.
over failing." Good stuff, man.
Tyrion and Jon then have a sensible discussion on the cliff.
Like one of the most sensible discussions we've seen on the show so far.
Children
for
are
fuck's
not
sake,
their
two people
fathers.
Finally, fucking talking like, okay, this shit is actually happening.
Yeah.
We need to actually talk about it. There's zombies. There's dead people coming to wipe everybody out. So we're gonna have this discussion seriously.
I feel like
Like-
we got another fucking hint at Tyrion being the Mad King's son. That children are not their fathers, luckily for some of us.
Right. Well, he was referring to Tywin, but at the same time can be referring to
Right. I
Mad
think that's
King.
the subtext there. There's another, and I mean, if you think about it, I wrote the whole thing down that I was thinking about later in here, so I'll get to it eventually. Are you trying to present your own statements as ancient wisdom? That was fucking hilarious. And he's like, "Oh, I'd never do that to you."
The
But
way
he-
she smiles at him,
Right.
walks off like, "Yeah, you motherfucker, I caught you."
I mean, but that's good stuff.
The way she walked, she's like, "Which wise man was that?"
Uh-huh.
He's like- Great stuff, dude. Like, that's awesome. Look at you talking all that shit at the beginning.
I'm not sure why it's not charging. It's plugged in.
Oh.
Should be. Whatever. Still got 20%. Fine. Let's see. Do you think Tyrion believes the knife in the heart thing about Jon Snow?
No,
No.
I don't think he didn't say it completely.
No,
he
I
didn't
know,
say he
but-
came back from the dead.
But he's
or-
not dumb. He knows what they were implying
No, but I don't think he does. I think
because
he
he said
thought
they
it was
ha-
maybe
give
like,
them their they have their board up there.
yeah, basically what he was saying. Like, I don't. He made it, taking it a little.
He gave his life,
Yeah.
like he took a knife in the heart. He gave his life. I mean, that's pretty clear what that meant.
We didn't talk a lot about that conversation.
What about it?
Jon Snow and
What do you got? Lay it on me.
I mean, just saying we didn't. That was like one of the first scenes, and we didn't
Right.
go over it. But
Well, just like the introductions, I just had general notes. I figured
Right.
we'd then just spin off into whatever about that. But I mean, yeah. So, what do you think about the way she handled it? Do you think she did a good job? In
I think
her
she was
diplomacy?
trying to puff out her chest a little bit,
Yeah.
so to speak,
Right.
trying to scare him, and she didn't because he's just like, listen, say what you want,
Right.
none of it matters,
Right.
which is basically his point. Like,
Right.
I'm not here to be king. You know what I mean? Like, I don't give a shit. They called me king because they believed in me. Like,
Right.
I didn't want this.
I like Davos's point, where he's like, "Look, if fate brought you to blah blah, then fate also brought Jon Snow to be this." So
brought wildlings together and,
Yeah.
and Northmen together
Yeah.
to fight on the same side. Like, it's basically the same thing, but like the way John's like, she's like, I was born to rule the seven kingdoms and I will, and he's like, you're gonna be rolling over a graveyard.
yeah, yeah. I mean, absolutely.
It's
But
don't,
she's learning.
I
a little
understand
bit.
the other side of things though. She's like, if somebody came up to you and said the
Yeah.
army of the dead, you're gonna be like, well, you're a fucking crazy person.
Right.
But then he looks at Tyrion, her hand, and he's like, do you think I'm a madman or a liar?
Right.
And he's like, no, I don't think you're either of those things.
Yeah.
But like, they have to believe him somewhat. If Tyrion,
Well, by the end,
believed
they
him.
do.
yeah,
I mean, whether they believe to the extent, because he didn't say, "Hey, just so you know, like here's how it was. We went to this place called Hardhome,
yeah, no, he didn't explain it
and
like that. You're right.
and we came across, we fought them, and they whooped our ass, and we retreated, and in the retreat, the Night King came up and like did one of these numbers and fucking raised not only his own people that we had slaughtered, but our people that they had slaughtered, and then boom, they're all against us. Then like we saw some of that shit. Say
Like,
something
yeah.
like that, and maybe he would get a grasp of what's going on. So like everybody
But
that
see,
they
like, I
kill
don't
in
think,
every
like,
battle
I got-
is going
I
to be
can- I
fighting
can-
us in the next battle.
Right, I can understand where John like doesn't lead with that. I can understand where he's coming from by not just going
Right.
straight into.
But when he's
Yeah.
talking to Tyrion on the cliff,
Yeah, he should have. He should have been
He should
more
have just-
descriptive.
yeah.
Like, listen,
this is what I mean. You know the
Right.
yeah.
he puts his hands up.
They just does
They all
that.
stood up.
Yeah.
His dead, and our dead. His army doubled after they kicked our ass. So
Yeah.
think about that.
Right.
An army you don't have to feed. They don't sleep.
Right.
There's no freezing to death.
Mm-hmm.
There's no dying from heat exhaustion.
That we know of, they all melt. As soon as they get to King's Landing, they just melt. It
They
just
get
becomes a
south.
pile of
No,
bones.
I'm thinking like the winter comes with them.
Yeah.
The
I would
storm
imagine
comes with them.
they supposedly are winter.
Right.
There has to be something science-based or mythological-based as to why they can only come out every long winter.
Which
And-
is every few thousand years.
I don't know. It doesn't really. It wasn't clear on that
The
little.
long
drawing,
night, when they
but-
talk about the long night, it's like
But they said
thousands of
people
years ago.
people were born and died while it was winter.
yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, why though? Why is it only so every so often? And I don't know.
You mean like an astrological explanation?
Yeah.
Like the way the planet circles.
Like
the
why
sun.
then
We've
they're
talked about that 'cause
allowed
you
to
said you
come
saw
out
that, like,
then,
globe or whatever you want to call it, like
Yeah.
the solar system thing.
where it
Like,
looked
I'd
like
be
one went
interested
out.
to see like scientifically what the planet looks like. as
I don't think
opposed
they're
to
going to
the sun.
necessarily lay that out for
No,
us, but
I
it
don't
would be
think so
cool if
either.
they did, or
It
made
would
a
be cool
book
if we saw
available.
somebody's theory, like in a book or something
Right.
like that. Would be cool. Like one of the Maesters' theory about like how it works.
Right.
If we're getting this far away from the sun, we're going to be there for 1,000 years before we get back to where it's regular weather again. And that would change the whole landscape of a planet, basically.
Right.
I mean, like, if you really want to get into some science shit, like,
But I mean, so what does that do then
you're
for?
never going to get a scientific explanation.
Well, but you know what I mean. Just like something, some
So that's
reason
something
for
that
it.
you can relate to science when they're done explaining
Right,
it
maybe.
in their terms.
Sure. I mean, does this happen in via Dothrak? Does this happen there too?
Yeah, see, like, what's the deal? Like, right.
Is
like,
it
how-
winter
the White
there
Walkers
as
are so,
well?
like,
contained to
enigmatic
this?
and, like, they come to take over and kill everything. Like, do they cross the Narrow Sea and then start wiping out Essos? Or do they cannot live
Is
over
that
there?
not winter? When
Because
the
they
rest of the
can't-
planet is winter?
It's not, no, because that's like a desert area. The Dothraki Sea is a giant desert. Like, I don't think it gets cold
But
there.
the long night doesn't affect that.
Like, I don't understand. No, we have to look that up. You're looking
That's
at me
what
like you want me to give you
No,
facts,
no,
and I
no.
can't
I'm
give you
just
that.
asking questions that I think
You're
need
right.
to be answered.
You're right. You're
eventually.
right. Like,
Why? I mean, are they winter?
is
And
it
if
just
they
me, or
are,
since
why
she
can they
left
only
there
come
now,
out?
Does that place seem irrelevant?
It does, but it's there,
It is.
and so is all the other stuff in Essos or whatever.
Okay,
Why-
so maybe it's
whether
just
it's
that like
relevant
they
to
were
the
created
ruling or
there
not?
by like they were created there, like the White Walkers were created there, like by the children or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Like we
In
saw
the
last
north,
season,
that far
in the
north.
Like that's like just they don't give a shit about. They just care about what their land.
mean,
is.
there
Like,
is-
they were just like programmed magically or something to only like protect that land.
They're
from people.
using, dude. I feel almost stupid that we haven't really seen it. They're using dragon glass to create the original White Walker, the Night's King, maybe.
Right.
They're fucking human dragons. They're
What?
like human mixed with dragon. That's the dragon glass.
But
I
you
mean,
know,
come on.
Yeah, but they call it dragon glass, but Tyrion even explained it as volcanic glass, like not.
Right.
So there's a scientific explanation for it. Like, so why does it
Right,
have
the
to be?
obsidian. I was just
So do you think
thinking
that the
that
dragon glass was
they're.
created by dragons?
I'm just thinking that they are the opposite end of it.
Well, yeah.
So they would have to be some
There's
the
something
little
relating-
horns and
there's
stuff
something
that are
re-
popping up out of the Night King. You know what I mean? That feels a little dragony. All I'm saying is I feel like there may be something to do with that.
So you
and
think
they
they're going to create their own ice dragon, or you think one of, like the dragons
Maybe.
killed, they're going to bring it back to life?
Possibly.
Like the last scene of the season is the Night King raising up the dead dragon who died, or
Right.
want to battle like in the next episode.
I mean, I feel like that's obvious, but I want to see it. I don't
Well,
care if it's
yeah.
obvious or not. I want it.
I do like. I think we discussed it that you said you think it's going to be Drogon that gets killed, and the two younger ones are going to have to fight
Ice Drogon,
Ice Shrimp, or both of them get killed,
and he
and
has to
it's
fight
Drogon
two.
has to fight two ice dragons.
Yeah, one of those two scenarios is more
Yeah.
likely than one of the two getting killed.
I like that either way. Better.
Right.
I like it.
That's-
Drogon, like, dude, I almost feel like weird, like when I think about one of the dragons dying, like a dog dying in a
Yeah.
movie. Like I don't want to see it happen.
No, but it has to.
It's going to. It has to happen.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it happen.
That's funny you brought it back to the dragons because Dany's telling Jon she named them for her brothers, Viserys and Rhaegar, which is like the absolute closest he is going to get to hearing the name of his father in the, like, it's the closest he's gotten to that piece of information. You know, like she actually said her brother's name in front of him. You know, I don't think
the
anybody
Mad
spoke.
King,
You
they
don't
would
have
be-
your mic.
So they would be brother and sister,
Who?
half brother and sister.
Rhaegar.
Tyrion and Dany,
Yes.
because the Mad King would be both of their father
Right.
in your scenario.
Yes, I have more
So
to
they would
that
be an
here.
aunt and uncle to Jon. Come on, this is getting convoluted.
Right. They both lost two brothers.
My dad
John
drinks
and
a beer that says two brothers, and every time he has it, he's like, "Look, try this beer." I'm like, "Oh, two brothers," and I start laughing. He's like,
Two
"Why is
brothers.
that funny?" I was like, "If I have to explain it to you,
It,
there's just
it doesn't.
I can't
No, it's not
explain
funny. It's just funny because it's not funny.
Right.
But yeah, so they both lost two brothers.
Two brothers.
People thought dragons were gone forever, and here they are. I think she's coming around to the idea of White Walkers. She tells Jon, you know, Tyrion's great at talking. He loves his job. I love my job. Who doesn't love this? He's like, me. I don't like this.
No, but dude, that was like one of the most heroic statements.
I forgot to look up because I read something on Reddit where they were talking about who else said that. It was like one of the people at the wall that he ran into. It was like all these people who didn't want to be doing what they were doing but did, that were influential to Jon Snow.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Benjen Stark,
Right.
his uncle,
Mm-hmm.
you know, a lot of people. You're right. Ned Stark, even.
Right.
Like Ned Stark was like, he did what he had to do, but he was always reluctant in doing it. He didn't want to go become the Hand of the King and go to King's Landing. Like, that was the last fucking thing on earth he wanted to do.
Right.
You know, he wanted to raise his family in Winterfell
Right.
and continue being warden
Of the
of the
North.
North.
Yeah.
Like, and then all this shit happened, you know, and it's kicked off this fantastic fucking story.
Right.
That we're in almost at the end of, sadly.
Tyrion convinced Daenerys, and she's going to allow them to mine and even give people to do it.
I love how he convinced her. He's just like, listen, you didn't even know it was there.
Right. Yeah, it means
Let 'em
nothing to
take it.
you. Yeah, let him take it, and it builds a relationship towards something positive. And she doesn't know how to do that. So
No, she doesn't,
and
because
she
nobody's
looks
tried to
fucking
do-
terrified when she's doing it.
Because nobody's tried to do it with her, though. Nobody's
Right.
tried to do that for her. Like
She's growing though, man.
Yeah,
she's
she
just
is.
she's so
Maybe she's
unsure.
not going to. We've had the discussion of her becoming a tyrant and a conqueror
Right.
and actually becoming the Mad Queen.
Right.
I think we've even used that term on a
But
former podcast.
I don't think
but
it's going to be a Mad Queen against Cersei. That doesn't really make a
no,
whole
I
lot
know
of
it doesn't
sense.
make a lot of sense, but it doesn't
You know?
seem like that to me anymore.
Right,
It
I
seems like
agree.
she is growing. Like she was trying to be the fucking
She was
the puffy
flexing
chested,
her. Yeah.
flexing her Targaryen muscle at
Yeah.
the beginning. Her Targaryen muscle.
Hashtag Targaryen muscle.
But John
Um,
wasn't having it, man. He
Right.
he kind of swatted it down himself. And then Davos always can come in and talk some sense into people. He's always real good at that.
When the guy mentioned, we go to Winterfell. When the guy mentioned that Maester Luwin kept a record of every scroll for the last 100 years. Did you see the look Littlefinger gave? He like looked back real quick. Remember the plot to get Ned to King's Landing to begin with?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if there's some record of that, he's fucked.
Yeah.
You didn't see, you watched that 100 times and you didn't catch that little look back over his shoulder. They were turning to go down the stairs and he was looking forward and then the guy goes, "Oh yeah, Maester Lewin kept," or whoever was saying it, he goes, "Yeah, the guy kept a record for the last 100 years, every raven that's come in here." And he was like, and then turned around and kept
Oh,
walking. It was
shit.
like, oh fuck, he's busted. Or could be. The leather armor thing, that was cool. So that was simply because they were cold.
I think so. Well, yeah, think about how cold steel would be
Right.
against your...
It just, I thought that was like the Stark thing, but maybe they would because it's cold in the north.
Like, I don't think the Starks wear the breastplate armor like...
But they wear, their stuff is leather.
and wrapped in warmth.
Right.
Like, the breastplates are something from the Vale. This is for the Knights of the Vale wear.
Okay.
Is that kind of armor.
So they're classing
combining.
those up and
They're
making them a
helping-
little warmer.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But the fact that she thought to do that is interesting.
The other
That
thought
makes
she
her
had about-
smarter than if she was just doing it because that's what their family did, which is what I
No.
thought originally.
Smarter because the winter's coming.
Yeah.
I think another thing she was real smart about is having everybody bring grain. Bring grain, because if you guys have to send armies to
Right.
come and fight whatever battle we have ahead of us to defend Winterfell,
Right.
we have to have food here to feed everybody.
Right.
And that's...
So
that
what
was
did
a
she
big-
say? What exactly did she say to
She
do
said-
there?
Like, everybody has to bring 25%.
Who's
of
coming though at that point?
Like any of the bannermen of Winterfell.
Okay,
of
so
the,
all
like
of the you
North,
people
you know,
bring
like if
food?
the North comes to defend Winterfell against the White Walkers because they got past the wall.
Gotcha.
They have to have some sort of food to feed
Right.
this entire army. Unlike the army of the dead,
Right.
who doesn't have to worry about that shit
Right.
and can march through night, day, whatever.
Right.
You know, we
So-
don't necessarily know all the rules of the
Right.
army of the dead, but
That's
we
sort
know
of
they
some
don't
of
have
the
to be
fun.
fed. We know they don't sleep.
Right.
I don't necessarily know that he's called the Night King. Maybe they can't really move during the day
Right.
per se. Doesn't seem like it would inhibit them too much because they would
No.
just bring the cloud and the
Ho-
storm above
Hardhome-
and block out the
Hardhome was daytime.
look to be.
Littlefinger, this is where he does the multiverse theory, so to speak. The I mean, I don't understand why it's not charging. It's all plugged in. This is plugged in. This is plugged in. I know how to check it.
Okay.
Let's see. So, yeah, then we get the Bran reunion, and he's so detached.
At this point, yeah, it was really a little off-putting.
He can't be lord of anything. He's a three-eyed raven. It's complicated.
I don't know what that means.
He can see everything that's ever happened to
I love
everyone.
she called him out on it. He's like, the three-eyed raven taught me. She's like, I thought you were the three-eyed
Yeah,
raven.
he's like, I told you it was complicated. He apologizes for all that happened to her, and then says how beautiful she was on her wedding night. So I think there's something to this. Somebody mentioned something on Reddit here. We'll get to it shortly because I can't quantify it in words the way they did it. It was beautiful. So then we go to Jorah.
Like as to
do you
why
have
he would
anything
bring
else
that
there
up.
for that scene?
It almost brought me to tears, but then seeing him be so detached, it kind of took me out of it.
Right. Yeah,
know?
there was no emotion there.
Right.
He was keeping her at bay,
What
I think.
do
He
you-
was keeping her at a distance.
I'm probably going to get the obvious answer that I'm looking for when I ask
Okay.
you this question. What do you think he wants to speak to Jon about?
I don't think I don't think it's going to be about who his parent is.
You don't think so?
No. I
So
think
gonna be about the
I
Night
think
King.
that's too trivial for Bran
It
to be
needs
talking to
so
Jon
he's gonna
about.
be talking to him
That's
about the
not
Night King,
relevant to anything.
or tell him how to beat the Night King.
It's going to be something else.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm starting to think that the bittersweet ending that George R. R. Martin was talking about is going to be like Jon Snow ends up blah blah, but he never finds out. You know, like he never finds out who his parents are, and he ends up like marrying Daenerys or something. Like they'd never.
I mean,
find
no,
out,
come
you know
on
what I
now.
mean?
Everybody would be like, "Oh, why?" Everybody would bitch
I
and
don't
moan
know.
about
I'm
that.
just saying, like something.
I don't think both of them are making it through the end.
Okay,
One or the
that's
other.
good or not.
Like, you know
That's
what I'm
good.
saying?
I like it. Jorah is healed. The fact that Sam touched his hand was so moving to him.
Dude, now that one choked me up a little bit.
Yeah.
The way
I didn't
Jorah
think
would,
about
like,
it the first
when
time.
he looked at him and he shook his hand, and then he put his other hand on top of him, like, thank you. Like, that shit was great, man.
Yeah, because he
Great
was like, "Oh my
acting.
God, human touch! I
Yeah,
haven't done that in
seriously, it was
forever."
crazy. And they looked
He's
up
like,
at
and
the
then
sun. And,
Sam's like, "Sorry, I was just cleaning shit."
yeah, right. I was just scooping
I
shit
didn't
out
wash
of the
my
fucking
hands.
bedpan. Ooh, now you might have brown scale.
Right. Yeah. The maester's like, "How'd you do it?" He's like, "I read the book and followed the instructions."
Right,
He should be proud. And then he's like, "Yeah, make copies of these rotting scrolls."
right. Oh, you thought you were going to be rewarded.
Well,
Oh, your reward is not being kicked out
I
of here
get that,
immediately.
but like it felt like a little too lenient on him. I thought he was going to get a punishment.
I like it. I like that they didn't punch him. They're
I
smart
get it.
enough to somebody pulled it off. He's like maesters who have had
He
what do you
said
say?
chains.
Maesters whose chains were heavy with
Yeah.
like medical links
Yeah.
have tried this and failed, and you did it
And didn't get it and didn't spread it.
Right.
And yeah.
right.
Let's see. So Danny now she wants to be. I think she wants to be a dragon at this point, like Elena said. She wants to ride Drogon to sink Euron, and I love the Tyrion voiceover as the attack on Casterly Rock happens.
So awesome.
Are you disappointed about the look of Casterly Rock?
I think it looked maybe a little rushed, but
People are saying that Casterly Rock was supposed to be taller than the wall. Like that in the book, it was supposed to be something ridiculous comparative to the wall, high. And that's why it was so impenetrable.
I mean, they didn't really give us a whole lot.
I mean, it wasn't a very tall
It wasn't
thing.
that
Like, did
tall
you
of a
ever
wall.
see what it was supposed to look like in the book?
No.
Let's see. Book versus show. Like, this is the show. That's what it was supposed to look like. Like, it's supposed to be way up there.
Okay. So I mean, that's a big difference. Well, there's another huge difference in the throne too. Like the way the throne is supposed to look is all crazy.
I concur, and I
Yeah.
think they should have gone with
It's like 10,000 swords or something.
They
like
should
that.
have gone with that throne. People were also complaining about Highgarden. Highgarden's supposed to be fucking paradise, like Eden, and it looked like that on the show. This was the book version of it.
I mean, they were just like rushed images. Not rushed, but just like quick images. Like, yeah, they didn't give us a lot on that. Like, that's
Yeah.
the bad part about only having 6 episodes left. There's 7
But
episodes
you
left.
fucking set these.
I
You
know.
set these restrictions. It's not our fault that you picked 7 and 6 instead of 10 and fucking 10.
It should have.
You should have been able to fill the episodes out. There's plenty of material. It pisses me off. I was talking with Jenna about it. How Lost cut out a fucking storyline towards the last season because they ran out of time. No, you set the amount of time that there was. Do you think they would have said you can't have 2 more episodes to flesh it out?
Right.
You could have.
I don't understand. HBO would have given them whatever they wanted. I don't understand why they restricted themselves to the 13 episodes. I think that sucks. It should
Right.
have been 20 episodes left. 2 seasons, 2 full seasons left. They would
You're
have said that.
telling me that there's not 2 full seasons worth of story left?
There's
They
no
did
fucking
2
way.
seasons out of 1 book.
Out of 1 book. There's no fucking way.
There's no way that they couldn't have done that. They're fucking rushing
Maybe
it,
that's
man.
where they fucked up.
Everything's feeling rushed. Honestly, in this season, a lot of cool stuff is happening. Yes, I'm not dissing the show.
Yeah, they're
but
moving
everything's
past-
feeling
yeah,
very rushed.
They've been doing that as it goes by, dude.
But they never used to do that.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying, as each season goes by, they start to pass up time faster and faster. It's like the scroll thing. Dude,
It's bumming me out a little bit that it's going so quickly and not feeling like enough is happening. I mean, and a lot is happening, but I don't know how to describe it. It's a weird sensation.
I get where you're coming from.
Because
I'm
I
just
have
trying to
issues
enjoy it,
with-
man. I'm not trying to think about that.
I get it. But
Right.
like I feel like some of the victories are very hollow because there's not anything there behind it anymore. Casterly Rock is nothing. The Tyrell House is nothing. I mean, I know that it was something because it's still controlled.
We
all the
never
other
saw
things, but
either one of those places.
Yeah,
Up
but
until
but I
now,
mean,
and-
it was just like, meh. And then Dragonstone empty, and then empty. You know,
Yeah.
Winterfell, and it's weird. I don't know. It doesn't. It feels like everybody's playing in the world that used to be this. What is it? Theocracy when it's a king or whatever. I don't know what it is. I forgot the term.
Regency. I don't know.
I don't know. But whatever that was, it feels like everybody's pretending it now. Instead of that being the Game of Thrones that used to be so important, like when Joffrey ended up king,
Yeah.
he felt like a really powerful king, even though he was an idiot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And it
I
feels
mean,
like now that like
She seriously feels pretty powerful, man.
it just doesn't.
To a certain extent. I mean,
maybe
she
it is
fucking
just that it
made some
doesn't.
moves in this episode. But yes, you're right,
But
man.
who's
Like,
she
but
got
they-
left? She's
but
gonna
they-
kill all her enemies
they have to
instead
move-
of.
They have to move fast.
I get
have to.
why.
Because they set these parameters. You're asking me that. You
No,
have to
I'm
ask
saying
David
I'm
Benioff
pissed
or
about.
whatever
I'm
the
pissed
fucking
off
name.
about them
Yeah.
saying we can't do 10 episodes
Well, I mean,
or another season. You know what I mean? If
Or
you have to, if here's the thing, I'm cool with we don't want to have to produce 10 episodes a season. It's a lot. Fine, do 3 more seasons then. You know what I
Of
mean?
6
Of 6
episodes, 7
episodes.
episodes.
Yeah.
mean-
Whatever's comfortable amount to produce that you feel is going to be the best quality. I'll take 3 seasons of 6 rather than 2 of 7 and 6.
I
It's
mean,
just-
I don't know, dude. You can't really, I guess, get caught up and think about it like that. I mean, just kind of enjoy the ride. a
I
little
guess.
bit.
I mean,
I don't-
I want to.
I don't. You're right, though. I don't want it to feel hollow. You're true. You're right
I mean,
there.
the Castle Rock thing was the fucking Death Star. Like, I know enough of Star Wars to quote that. That was the fucking Death Star. They just had the fucking exhaust vent or whatever the shit it was that they shot the laser through,
coming
and
up
it
through
blew
the
up the
sewer?
Death Star coming up through.
You
the
don't like
sewer.
how Tyrion told that story a long time ago about building the sewers, about how his dad gave him that job, and that
I
coming
forgot
back
that
to
he did say that a long time ago.
Yeah,
I remember
he did
him
mention
telling
that.
it in
Like
this
he
episode.
told that story to somebody, but
yeah,
so that came up like
that
it
it
could
played
have
a
been- it
part,
could
but
have
it
felt
didn't
more
really
important.
matter.
no, it didn't. Like it ended up being hollow in the end anyway. But
Right.
now,
I like the brand.
Grey
quote.
Worm and the Unsullied are kind of trapped in Westeros now, an unfamiliar land. They
Right.
have to go
He said they're not going to be able to eat there or whatever, so they're going to have to
leave and
walk
go
back
march across
through
Westeros.
Westeros.
Yeah,
That's fucked up.
yeah. Which, if I'm thinking about the map correctly,
And their ships get
like
destroyed
Casterly
by
Rock and like Dragonstone,
Euron.
like they have to like walk across the whole continent, which would potentially take weeks with an
Right.
army, months. And who knows what the fuck they're going to run into at that point? They could run
Right.
into the Lannister army, who could be coming from Highgarden at that point, and you have to fight them off.
Right.
They're like the Unsullied are not in a good position.
Right.
Now they've spread themselves a little thin. Now
Mm-hmm.
Daenerys has. Because do you think she's going to stop trusting Tyrion's word because a couple of things that he's suggested
No.
haven't worked out?
I don't think she's that fickle.
Okay, good.
The Lannisters take Highgarden. I loved the wrestler shot
Awesome.
over Jaime Lannister's
The
shoulder
way he was walking through the whole thing, yeah.
as he gets to Lady Elena. She quotes the Reigns of Castamere, the song. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, I did notice that. They kind of explained why they didn't have to show that battle.
Well,
Because
it didn't. I
it
mean,
wasn't really a battle.
yeah.
Like the Highgarden
They don't
people,
fight.
they're not big fighters,
Yeah.
right? They got their asses kicked is what happened.
But he also admits Casterly Rock means nothing. They will have to eventually retrieve their position and walk back across Westeros because their ships are burned. He learned this battle trick from Robb Stark. I
Right.
thought that was cool.
That's what happened to him. That's why he got captured.
Yeah. And she goes, now why did she say if Robb was so smart, why didn't he take Highgarden?
If Tywin was so smart.
Oh,
She was talking
Tywin?
about Tywin
Okay.
Lannister.
Yeah, that
Why
is.
didn't
Why
he
didn't
take
he?
Highgarden as soon as the gold reserves ran dry? I don't know.
I think that's a valid
It
question.
is a valid question.
Jamie has Joffrey's sword, Widow's Wail.
Oh, he was a cunt, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a cunt. Her mistake was a lack of imagination in dealing with Cersei. She never imagined she'd blow up the Sept.
No.
Elena calls Cersei the end of Jamie, which leads towards your side of it.
Been saying it since the beginning of
But
the
I mean,
season.
if he actually listens, he could potentially
You're right.
avoid it. Like I feel like anybody that ever hears some prophecy intentionally ignores it and just gets the thing
And
to
ends up
lets it happen to
right.
him.
But dude, like, don't you love the fact that she just
Well, he talked Cersei out of the horrible
right?
deaths that were on the
Right.
table for Elena and got to just drink a poison that doesn't even hurt when she dies. And then she she fucking powered it down like a champ the second
Yeah.
it was in there. Oh, done. Like, you didn't even want to talk? Like, nothing?
No,
I mean,
but
there's no out of it. I get it.
I get it, but she did that intentionally.
Yeah, so she knew she could say what she had to say.
She could say what she had to say.
And she whooped his ass, and then she admits she killed Joffrey. And then he just walked out like a bitch. He's neutered, man. He should have cut her head off.
I was thinking, dude, pull out that fucking sword and cut her head off. Even though I didn't want to see that, but like pull off the sword and cut her throat or something, or stick her in the chest. Do something to cause her some pain. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, you're right. He walked out like a bitch.
Have you ever seen Lady Elena she was in a show back in the 50s, I think.
She looks just like Marjorie.
Like back in the
Wow,
50s.
she's really pretty, huh?
Yeah, she was in a show called The Avengers.
Yeah. Okay. With
Like the black and white show.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Isn't that crazy?
That's awesome. Yeah. Did not know that was her. I do know of that show.
Really?
Yes, I knew of that.
Because is that related to Marvel
No.
at all? Okay, I'm just
Not
kidding. I
anyway,
didn't
no.
know.
That's the only reason I knew about it, because some of the Avengers. I was like, oh, a movie came out a long time ago that was like a remake
Okay.
of that show.
So then you figured out it was that. Then there was a show that
Yeah, but
preceded
there was
the
no
movie.
way I would have been able to tell you that. But I
Right.
do know of that show. Like,
Okay.
That's cool, yeah.
Okay, so random questions. Did the White Walkers wear armor before Sam killed one of them? I don't remember them wearing armor. And now they're wearing armor.
No, like maybe the one that like, no, like the ones that we saw like when he was hiding behind
Jon
a rock.
Snow
I can
killed,
season 2.
the one that. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they were wearing armor, and now they wear armor.
We've only seen 2 of them get killed, right?
I can't remember exactly.
The one Sam killed and the one John killed.
I think.
The only 2 I can think of being killed.
Right.
But yeah, like when he came for him, like we saw him early, they didn't have armor on.
And now the Night King is wearing armor.
And some of the other ones are too.
Yeah.
Because of the.
So they're evolving too.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, what if John never ends up finding out about his parentage? Do you think that matters? Do you think overall that really matters if he doesn't find out he's a Targaryen? Obviously, it wouldn't help in leaning towards the, he gets to be he gets to ride one of the dragons theory. Not that he's going to do that. I don't think he's interested.
I don't.
But do you think it matters if he finds out or not?
Not necessarily matters if he finds out or not. We know.
Right.
The audience
Isn't that
knows.
good
So
enough?
it might be good enough that we know. I think if it all ended up and he didn't, we'd just be like, oh shucks, it would have been cool if he found out, but what did it really matter?
Right.
It doesn't have any effect on the outcome of the story.
Right.
Unless it does have something to do with the dragon rider thing.
Right.
But like that seems kind of stupid to me.
Okay.
But even though she rides the dragon.
Right.
Like,
These are just random questions. Has anyone asked how Lyanna died?
Lyanna Stark?
Yeah. Did anybody ever ask how she died?
I suppose they just took whatever Ned Stark to be.
But
He probably never admitted anything that happened. He probably just said they never found her.
what did he say happened to her? Do you know? I don't remember
I would
any
have
story.
we would have to go back and look at.
Didn't you just watch those episodes?
Yeah, but he never mentioned his sister.
Huh.
He never mentions his sister.
I'm just
at all.
curious why nobody asked what happened to her.
Maybe everybody believes that she was kidnapped and raped by Rhaegar Targaryen.
But that's it? That's the end of the story? She just raped and then
They
that's
raped and killed or whatever. Who knows? We'd have to look that up.
I'm
But
interested
that
to see
information
what
is
people
out there.
thought.
You're right. That's a good question, though. That's a really good question.
Yeah. Why did nobody ask him
Why
that?
did nobody ask that?
And maybe it was just birthing a Targaryen that killed her.
Is it what?
Maybe it was just birthing a Targaryen that killed her.
Yeah.
Daenerys' mom.
Or the cross between a Stark and a Targaryen.
Well, Daenerys' mom. died giving birth to her.
Mm-hmm.
John's mom. Who else's mom died giving birth to him?
Tyrion.
Huh. That's weird, isn't it?
Did you just come to that conclusion?
That's
now,
what
or
I'm
did-
saying. Yeah, I have it written down
Oh.
here. Yeah.
It's almost like they're shoving it down our throats.
It's
at this
almost
point.
like they're shoving it down our throats.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying, like, I believe it at this point. Like, he's fucking Tyrion Targaryen. What a fucking name. Tyrion Targaryen.
So you think he ends up on the throne then?
Oh, I don't know. He could.
See,
That'd be the
see,
shit.
I don't know, man. It depends on how the battle of the White Walker. Like, see that to me, like somebody one of our favorites ending up on the Iron Throne is too happy of an ending for this.
Yeah, but bittersweet is what
Why?
he said. That's what he
Yeah,
said.
but I'm talking about bittersweet for like, we don't want to see that happen to Tyrion. We wouldn't mind seeing it happen to Littlefinger.
What?
Like him fucking sitting on the Iron Throne.
Yeah,
at
but
the
it's
end,
not
like,
going to be
ruling
it's
over
not going to
the
be ruling
graveyard
over
and
no
ruling
one.
over ashes.
It's not going to be that. It's
So you
not
think
going to
they're
be.
gonna like? Do you think it's gonna
Do
be
you
like a
think
flash
the
of
fucking
light?
White Walker's going to wipe out humanity and Littlefinger's going to survive?
Well, no, that like so many people are gone. So much is gone. So much is defeated. That he's basically ruling over nothing. They did defeat the White Walkers, but there's rebuilding to be done, and there's nobody.
There has to be. It would have to be somebody good on the rebuilding front. It couldn't just be. It couldn't be somebody evil like a little. I mean, I just don't think that would make any sense at all.
Like Bran the Builder.
What do you mean? What, like Brandon Stark? What's he gonna do?
I don't know. Rebuild Winterfell.
Yeah, it could. I mean, he could warg into people, I guess, and do it.
Warg into the Ice Giants.
Sure.
Can he warg into White Walkers?
Why did nobody mention the Ice Giants? Have they not seen the Ice Giants, or did they not figure out that that was a possibility? Because, like, that would have been a good way to sell it. Hey, you know the Giants?
We saw the Ice Giants. What are you talking
Did Tyrion see a giant?
about? No.
So he wouldn't believe that
He
there
doesn't-
are
no,
giants.
he
I thought he
didn't.
did.
No.
No, that was Jon Snow.
It was Jon Snow that saw
Okay.
the Giants. Yeah.
But imagine if he had said, yeah, you know, there's also ice giants. At least
I don't
three.
think they've saw any Ice
I
Giants.
know they haven't. How can Bran help
Do you think
Jon?
a couple of giants can take down a dragon?
Maybe.
Like with spears and shit? Like they'd be able to
Possibly.
like jump on it and like fucking like take it down, like wrestle it down?
I bet one dies via Cersei's method.
Obviously.
Right. Like they're not setting it up for nothing.
Right.
Do you think there's any way Bran can help Jon? And if so, how?
Information.
Like, what? I'm thinking he could go back in time and learn the Valyrian steel recipe.
Learn how to make Valyrian steel swords again. That's a good one.
And
So there's your fucking trip back to old Valyria.
And you know who? If only there was someone.
good, Joel.
If only there was someone we knew who could forge steel. That's been missing for a while on a little boat.
Gentry. So the path for you're like where are you coming up with this
That's
on your
these
own?
are my questions.
Okay, that's
Yes.
good. I'm asking you.
Yes,
I'm asking you.
Yeah,
legit. I'm not
we're
fucking
we're gonna get
bullshitting
to
you.
Reddit on Reddit.
Okay, but this is your question. Those are good questions.
Yeah,
I
thanks.
like it. I like it. I like the path you're down.
Jon Snow is the only person in Game of Thrones to have seen White Walkers and dragons in person. He's the only person in the show that has seen both of them in person alive.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
interesting.
You're saying that it's fact. Or you're
Yeah,
asking me?
I'm saying that as a fact. Jon Snow is the only character in the show that has seen White Walkers in person and dragons in person.
Davos hasn't seen any White Walkers.
No.
He wasn't hard on them.
Nope.
But he saw John come back to life, so totally believes anything that John says.
Right. Well, no, that's the Lord of Light and the fucking Melisandre shit. I think he would still be skeptical about anything she was involved in. But yeah, I see your point.
Yeah, but she saw her do that, so how can he be skeptical?
I don't know.
He saw her
Because
bring him
of
back to life. He
Shireen.
witnessed that, right? I know he's mad about that, but he witnessed it.
Right. They've done a decent job of getting me to worry that Cersei could win the smaller war to come. With the way that Jaime outsmarted them and they Euron, with the boats.
Right. And burning the...
Right. It's they've done a genuinely good job of striking fear that Cersei could be smart enough to outwit all these people coming at her. I don't think she's going to, but they've put enough doubt in me in the same way that Ned Stark was murdered. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
oh shit, like this can happen. You
Yeah.
know? It's possible. I don't think we're going that way, but that's the last of my thoughts. And then we go to Reddit on Reddit, which is a new feature. I'm just gonna call it that from now on. Some people come up with shit I
called it
can.
that before.
I know, but some people can. I can never come up with some of the shit these people come up with. The Mad King
Why
Eris.
is there a side beforehand?
Because it's a block of text, and I was just getting my breath. These are like theories and stuff.
Okay.
The Mad King Eris had Ricard Stark dressed in a suit of armor and suspended from the ceiling in the throne room. He had a noose tied around Brandon's neck and placed a sword just out of his reach,
Right.
then ordered a fire lit underneath Ricard. Ricard was burned while inside the suit of armor, and Brandon strangled himself in the effort to reach the sword and save his father.
Right.
Alaria Stark, straining to reach her daughter, slowly dying from poison, brought back echoes of this uniquely horrifying death. This might
Ilario
bolster.
Sand.
Oh, this might bolster the theory that
You said
Cersei
Ilario
will.
Stark.
Alaria straining to. Oh,
Yes.
I mean, I don't know
Oh,
why I
sorry.
would have put Stark in there. That's my bad if I did.
Yeah.
This might bolster the theory that Cersei will die at the hands of Jaime, just as Aerys did. That's another link I could click. I had never clicked that one. I
Okay.
just grabbed the whole text. Littlefinger has the dagger.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
The Valyrian steel dagger, yeah.
Yeah, that was in the preview of the next episode.
Yeah.
And did you match up that already? The hand? This is one shot, and then later we see this.
So that's his hand.
It's
pulling
his
out the dagger.
hand pulling out the dagger, yeah.
To do what with it, though?
Exactly. Who knows? The influence Jon Snow has had to make him who he is today. The 20 minutes season...
You mentioned this.
Ned Stark teaching him honor and living by his honor, doing what's right even if it'll get you killed. Jeor Mormont, who handpicked him as a steward to turn him into a leader. Maester Aemon, who is brutally honest about leadership. You'll find little joy in your post, but with luck you'll find strength to do what needs to be done. Mance Radar, who taught him the responsibility of staying true to the people that put their trust in you, to follow you despite their animosity to others that follow you. This meeting is the fruit of all those years learning from great leaders. His humility dealing with Dany, refusing to bend the knee even if it means death, refusing to pledge the lives of the people that followed him to Dany's cause. If you can't see why I won't enlist my people in a foreigner's war, then there's no point in debating anymore. Mance Rayder.
Dude, I love when he looked at, when he was like, pledge your...
Why would
Pledge
I do
your-
that?
Why would I do that? I don't know you. Like, I loved it. Like, that was great.
Jon Snow is one of my favorite character arcs, along with Tyrion, and just watching him meet Dany made me remember all the men who had a hand in shaping him become who he is today.
That's awesome.
That was user AJ_AK47.
That's cool. That was very, very well thought out.
Let's see. Sansa learned from Tywin as well somehow. Littlefinger says, "It is my belief that a moment of chaos affords opportunities lost soon after." And Tywin responds, "You say that as if you were the first man alive to think it. Yes, a crisis is an opportunity. What other brilliant insights have you brought me today?" Then, so just in this episode, Littlefinger says, "You don't know Cersei better than anyone here. I only mean to say, the woman who..." And she goes, "that the woman who murdered my mother, father, and brother is dangerous. Thank you for your wise counsel." So she's mocking him in the same way that Tywin did. I don't know how she would have gathered that from Tywin, but like she's just has a similarity.
No, because
in,
he has a propensity to fucking state the obvious.
right.
You know?
The reason Bran was the way he was this episode. Bran destroyed Hodor. Bran destroyed someone he really loved. Not only is he the reason for his physical death, but also his mental death long before. Bran destroyed an innocent human being who he cared about because of his own selfish acts. Bran probably had some real-life PTSD. How do you get over that? Until he fully masters his powers, he probably wants to keep everyone he loves at a distance from him, aside from telling Jon a crucial bit of info. You know, hopefully. And
So you think it's about the... I like the idea of the Valyrian steel, because that gives us the
right.
olive branch to
get to
old
Valyria. Yeah.
even if it is for a short period of time.
I'm fine, even if it's 5 minutes. Just give me 5
Just
minutes.
fucking dragons flying all over the fucking place.
That'd be the shit.
Be awesome.
So telling Sansa about that night was the quickest way to send her away so he could continue his training and never harm anyone like that again. That would be why he was keeping his distance.
So like
there.
it like because he can't. So like the idea being is if he is like around that person in both
The past and
and
the
the present, he could damage their mind or destroy their
Right,
mind.
potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But even though I doubt he'll ever be even then I doubt he'll ever be the same. That's some Sophie's Choice next level trauma. You don't get over that shit.
No, I get it totally. That's a good reasoning. I like that.
Okay, I'm skipping to the stupider one before we get to what I consider the better one of this.
Okay.
How would you feel if the ending was Jon and Daenerys winning and then becoming king and queen of the Seven Kingdoms? Sam becomes the Grand Maester and begins to serve and act as Jon's advisor. Fast forward to an elderly Jon and Daenerys asking Sam to write their tale. Sam agrees and attempts to write it. The show ends with an elderly Sam, now being played by George R. R. Martin, beginning writing a scroll titled The Song of Ice and Fire.
No.
It's the J.R.R. Tolkien ending.
Yeah.
I mean, come on,
No.
that would be funny as fuck.
It's George R. R. Martin. He's got the
old
stupid
Sam.
sailor hat on and shit.
He's old Sam. Yeah,
Old
they make
Sam.
him a sailor along the way.
Right. Come on. It's not horrible, but it's horrible.
It was pretty funny. Okay, the last of the Reddit on Reddit things is, I think that this is by user Matt Wee with 3 T's. I think that last episode basically confirmed who Azor Ahai is. And it has everything to do with the forging of Lightbrighter. In the books, the legend states that Azor Ahai was working to forge a hero's sword. On his first attempt, he tried to temper the steel in water, but it shattered. On his second attempt, he tried to temper the steel by thrusting the
Is there
sword
a fucking tornado going?
Right. He tried to temper the steel by thrusting the sword into the heart of a lion, but it too shattered. On the third and final attempt, he thrust the sword into his wife's heart and became successful in creating the sword Lightbrighter. In episode 2 of this season, we got the extremely heavy-handed prince or princess that was promised, Valyrian grammar lesson, which was enough for some viewers to become convinced that Daenerys is Azor Ahai. I was not convinced until episode 3. Let's look at the 2 battles that involved Daenerys' armies in each episode the past 2 weeks. The first, Yara and Dorne versus Euron's naval battle. Euron crushed their forces, taking their ships, as well as Yara, Alaria, and Tyene as prisoners. I don't know how to say her name, sorry. This attempt was a failure for Daenerys. The second, Unsullied versus Casterly Rock. While Unsullied have to march across Westeros to return to Dragonstone, where Lannister forces will most likely be waiting for them. Another failure for Daenerys is, thinking figuratively, you could say Casterly Rock is the heart of a lion. I mean, another failure for Daenerys is the location of Daenerys' failure is the key. The first in water, the second Casterly Rock, the seat of House Lannister, whose sigil is a lion. And if we're thinking figuratively, you could say Casterly Rock is the heart of the lion. If these battles represent any sort of pattern, it is pointing to the fact that Daenerys Targaryen is Azor Ahai. We don't know yet who will be standing in for the third part of the prophecy, Azor Ahai's lover, but I'd be willing to guess that it is Jorah Mormont. He's been cured of grayscale and is heading back to Daenerys. It seems logical. The only thing I'm still unsure of is who exactly Lightbrighter will be for Daenerys. It seems to be some sort of army, maybe involving dragons, but who knows. It was just kind of a lot of info about the prophecy.
Have they said the words Azor Ahai on the show?
I mean, they're saying the prince or princess that was promised.
Have they said?
I don't know.
Maybe a Red Woman has said it.
That's possible.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
You know, it was
okay,
kind of
it just
interesting
seems
to,
like-
to point to her by saying that
it's
the
a
two
good,
battles,
it's a good parallel. Yeah,
the two
for sure.
losses have been to water and, you know, whatever, the heart of a lion. You know,
That's really, really, like like
super
you've read the
intricate.
books for sure, like more than
Yeah.
once.
Right, exactly. You're studying
That's awesome.
this shit.
But you're like, I like it, right?
Any other thoughts? I mean, overall, anything else from this episode that you feel we haven't hit on, or you wanted to talk about more? Any you know, thing you thought of? I'm gonna check real quick. I posted on the Facebook page on the How to Watch TV thing.
Shit.
We're about to lose power.
Sure, fine, hold on.
If there was, let's see, if there are any comments. So Zeb said, oh no, my cousin Jill said, is Cersei making all her servants wear black and cut their hair short too? The ones we saw in the last episode did. Seems up her alley to have no women around her that could be more attractive.
That and like they're like they seem a little bit older.
Okay.
They're not like the children that could potentially be little birds.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Zeb said Cersei looking good getting out of bed though. I said, okay, Jamie. Then he asked what happened to Yara. I mean, she just was kidnapped. I mean, we saw her. What happened to her after that?
Like he took her.
Euron took her?
Yeah.
Okay, so
After the
he
throne
was
room?
her prisoner.
Yes.
Gotcha.
He still had
So
her.
there
on
you go,
leash.
Zeb. That's what that is. He said, and Tarly sided with Lannisters and broke his oath to Tyrells, which means that Samwell will be fighting his dad, which is good because he's a dick.
Yeah. Okay. Samuel also still has that sword.
Yeah.
His dad's sword. Forget what that one's called.
Right, I forgot what it is.
Yeah.
Too. Jill said, "Hey, Bran, so good to see you. Hey, yeah, you looked real pretty the night you were raped." Yeah, and then Zeb's like, was Bran actually referring to that? Yeah, he said she looked so beautiful in her white dress the night she was married. Three-eyed Raven sees everything. And then another guy was like, what episode of what? I'm like, fucking Game of Thrones. Just get on it. He plays Dungeons and Dragons. I was like, you'd probably hate it. It's got dragons and dungeons.
Who is this?
A British guy is what I call him. He's a guy that I met years ago. He watched Blinkered.
Yeah.
And like commented
So
on it. We started talking via Twitter, and then we've just kind of become friends. Like whatever internet friends.
So you tell
is,
him, you shouldn't watch Game of Thrones. 'Cause
Yeah,
you'll
you probably hate it because it's got dragons and dungeons. You fucking hate that stuff. I know how much you hate that.
Right.
Make sure not to watch this show that's incredibly popular with everybody.
Right.
That's like him telling me to watch Doctor Who and I just haven't.
Right.
Like from all accounts, it's excellent.
Yeah.
But I just haven't
Never
bothered
watched
yet.
it,
I don't
yeah.
know where to start. There's a billion
There's
episodes.
so many. Yeah.
So yeah, I got nothing else. That's about all for this week. I mean, we talked for nearly an hour and a half again.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It just can't happen. It tends to happen when it comes to this show.
Do you
Plus,
have any
we
other
don't-
thoughts on it?
I mean, you've asked me that. I don't, like, not off the top of my head, I can't really think of anything else. Like I said, I've been watching. I went back and started with season 1. I love how there's a bunch of shit that they're bringing up.
Stuff that ties in.
Stuff that ties in now.
That was always my favorite thing
I'm like-
about
I'm-
Lost.
I'm like thinking,
seeing,
like-
going back and seeing and going, oh, that makes sense now because it means this 4 seasons later. I love that shit.
I love seeing the characters, the ones that are still around, and how they've evolved and changed. It's cool to think about.
Right.
I mean, like, I guess I knew, but I didn't know. Like, if you would have asked me, but like Ian Glenn, like,
Who's Ian
like,
Glenn?
Jorah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, he's like 30 minutes in. You know what I mean? Like, he's there from very, very beginning, right by her side,
Right.
from the very beginning of the show. And I don't know. He's been there all along. If you really think about that, 6
So do you think
seasons, 7
she's?
seasons
Do you
later.
think it'll be like a marriage thing? Like she'll end up with him?
I don't think so. I don't
Or
know
do you
if
think she
she's
not
like,
ends up with anybody? You think she dies before the end of the series?
She
Come on,
might.
make some big predictions here. What do you think?
You want me to make big predictions right now?
What
it's
is-
either John or her.
Okay.
Like,
so
I don't think
is-
both of them are living. I don't think they're marrying and being king and queen of the Iron Throne. That's not going to happen.
I'm making a prediction that the White Walkers are misunderstood. That their purpose is not what we think it is.
Then why are they killing
don't know.
everybody and making an army of the dead?
I'm not sure.
What do you think their purpose is then?
I don't know yet, but I mean, I proposed earlier that it could be to kill the dragons.
Okay.
To balance the balance of the
But
dragons.
that's not balanced.
What?
Them killing everybody and making an
For
army of the dead is the
dragons.
opposite of balance.
If the fire and ice is the only balance that's necessary. I mean, I guess it's not balanced for them to win, but that's the same
That's the
thing as the
opposite
fucking
balance.
the Force. So let's not get into this.
Well, that's exactly what
what's
you're
his
getting
name-
into.
Well, what's his name? Because he did balance the Force. He did exactly what he was promised to do.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I can't necessarily refute that.
He made it much
But
more
that's
even.
what you're saying is not balance. That would just take over. You think you're just gonna kill the dragon?
just
And be like,
saying
oh, okay, we fulfilled our
But
purpose.
it
and then
is
fade
a
into
song
night.
of ice and fire, as
Right.
they said. So if they have, what if they are the protectors? What if the children made them? We didn't see anything of that scene, any audio.
Yeah, I understand that.
So
But there
what if
was
they
no...
tell them, we're using this so that you can have the weapon that we use to kill dragons in
But I don't
you?
think they were dragon. They created the White Walkers to fight the men.
What meant? Oh, the children did?
Yeah. They
To
were
fight
losing a
man?
war
But
to
they
fight
were-
the first men who were
They
coming in and
took a
taking over the
man
world.
and made him into a
Yeah.
White Walker.
Yeah.
So the men didn't have dragons at that point?
No. Not the first men.
Why did they have the dragon glass? You know what I mean? There's so many questions. It
Because
could
it's
just
not
be a
necessarily.
spiral.
I don't think that necessarily has to be made from dragons. He said it was volcanic glass. It's obsidian.
No, I know, but presumably it's only in Dragonstone.
No, it's not only in Dragonstone. No.
Where
It's the
it's
only
made
place on Earth.
elsewhere?
Obsidian is made from volcanoes. There can't be only one volcano on the entire planet.
I mean, it could have been part of the doom of Valyria. It just feels like the only place they've ever talked about there being dragon glass is in Dragonstone.
Well, if you looked at some of those old scrolls, they said that like they used to be use it for like jewelry and shit.
Right.
Like I don't.
Well, but they would
there
do
was a
minimal
huge.
amounts.
There's a huge
There's a place
cache
that they
of
can
it
mine
at Dragonstone.
Yeah.
But like I don't think it's the only place it exists.
Okay, so potentially anywhere that there was a big volcano that it settled.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I got nothing else. I can't think
I mean,
of
I can't wait till next week. I want to see what happens. There's going to be. I think there's going to be some shit set on fire next week.
I'm getting to the point where if the season ends with like the Night's King and them coming face to like finally squaring off, I'm gonna be like, why didn't you get to that sooner? Like it doesn't. Does that have to be the whole last season? Like we have to wait for that? You think?
They've
Think
been
we're
making
gonna
us wait this long.
Right. You know, like just fucking get to it already, and let's see what comes of it. Get them past the wall. Let's not have that be the last shot of the season. I don't want that. I would much prefer them walk around the wall. That
See,
would
but
make me laugh so
what
hard.
you're saying is almost contrast to what you were saying earlier. Is you're asking them to speed it up when you were asking them to slow it down earlier.
No, I want more substance. Like it feels like they're rushing through a lot of things, but why? Why rush
Because
through
they
them?
put these parameters on themselves,
Right.
which is the only answer I can give you,
Right.
and they have to. They don't have enough time. Make them hour and 15-minute episodes.
Right.
Hour and 20 minutes.
It feels like a lot of the story. You're right. I mean, it does sound contradictory, but they are rushing through a lot of storylines.
Yeah, I do like the battles in this episode. It was as awesome as the episode was. It does feel like they rushed through the whole battle for Castle
Two
Rock
things
and
were taken.
Highgarden. Two huge battles potentially, and they just like
We saw him for like 5 seconds.
less than 5 seconds. Yeah.
You know, like that's lame.
Yeah.
I know. Well, I mean, they could easily do those things, but they're spending the money elsewhere. I guess. I get that it's all a budgetary thing, and we can't just see whatever we want to see. I thought it was interesting the way they were talking about. The creators were saying, or the showrunners were talking about how they decided to just cut to the chase and follow Jamie into Elena.
Yeah.
Like, so they chose that.
They chose,
and
but
so
they
in
said
the
that.
book,
They
you know
explained
that
what
if that happens, you know it's going to be a lot more drawn out and
the battle,
fleshed out.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's a whooping, it's not going to be that.
No. It's a different medium, though.
It's interesting
really
to
is.
me. I'm
It
going
is.
to listen to these audiobooks.
Oh, yeah. You can start now because you're so far behind at this point. Like,
Oh yeah, I'm not
You-
going to get caught up anytime
you know,
soon.
right. So you can start listening to them and rating them, and it's not going to affect your. Like, the stuff isn't even available, right?
What?
Like, to spoil.
No, I
anything.
can't
It's not-
spoil anything
it's
now.
not available
It's
now.
all extra material,
Yeah.
and I'm at a point where I can flesh it out while I'm waiting for it to end.
Right.
Which is what I did with
It's gonna
all
be a
of my
whole nother
favorite
year
shows.
before-
Fringe, when it was like when I was waiting for it to end and watch it all over again. Lost.
Yeah.
Like all my favorite shows, you try to get as much
I think
bonus
this will be
content as
fun.
you
I
can
think
find.
by the time it's over with, to go back and watch it from beginning to end would be cool.
I mean, I almost feel like we should figure out a way that we work backwards from the final season, and go back week by week, and then every Sunday we meet and watch an episode of Game of Thrones from the beginning up to the finale.
Okay.
Is there there would be enough weeks? No, there wouldn't be enough weeks because there's over 60 episodes already.
So you mean like a whole year?
Right.
I mean, like you could do that like by 5 episodes.
What do you
5
mean?
episode chunks. I don't think we'd have a podcast about each episode.
No. I meant us just go watch them. Just something to do.
Oh,
While
well, yeah.
after the season ends, like start immediately watching an episode every Sunday. I mean, I know you're gonna burn through them, so that probably won't work for you.
I
but
wouldn't mind watching.
I've
don't-
enjoyed the group watching of an episode of something, because when Jen and I watch it, one of us inevitably falls asleep.
So does Jenna.
And it's like, I want somebody to at least be like, I want to see how other people are reacting to an
It's
episode.
been fun.
And
It
it's,
has been
you know,
fun.
I have enjoyed that
Yeah.
experience. So we'll be back next week. I don't know, whatever. I've had too many beers at this point to be clever at the end. So I'm just gonna say,
We'll see you next week.
because
He says I don't watch TV.
see you later.
All these memories in my mind, my mind, my mind, my mind, my mind, my mind. I'm still a secret lemonade drinker.